And we're back with Going Corn, Season 3, episode, was it like 4 now? 3 or 4?
You're supposed to know these things.
I know, I should know. I think it's episode 4, but we'll get it there. When you see it on YouTube, it won't matter much.
Just like the Bulls draft pick, won't matter much, right?
So we just watched that. So, yeah, lots of drinking going on down here too. So,
are we going to do drink of the day in honor of our guest?
Well, yeah, let's get to that. So, we got a great show for you today. Just going to recap, look forward to week 2, get into our normal season thing, but we do have a special guest here today. We have Caleb.
Hi.
That's not special that much, just he's there every week, but the kind of first-time guest on the pod, Ryan Voges.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello.
Nation.
This is a momentous day.
Momentous.
Yeah, this is my first time being invited on the podcast. Greg
true.
hosted Going Corn from my house with Jackson last season, but didn't invite me.
Didn't.
That is not true.
Oh, no.
He was totally invited.
Wow. Was that
was the postseason.
That was a highly controversial podcast where
oh, that's right.
It was in Narwhal's Love Fest.
Well,
and you went through the awards and just said Caleb won everything, and then just left it at that. I was like, okay.
Was I wrong?
Yes.
So,
no.
This
So you didn't answer my question. Are we going to do drink of the day or what?
I just said it.
Oh, yeah.
Sponsored by Barefoot Wine and Subway Lemonade.
Yep.
It was lemonade?
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I've got the Pink Moscato.
Shout out.
It's most awarded wine brand.
The unofficial official sponsor, Coca-Cola.
Body
for the
armor.
brand.
Of all wiffle ball in Northwest Indiana.
Is that trademarked?
It's close enough, right? So, good to have Ryan on. Also a co-host of now. He's just getting his podcast around.
I was going to say that. I was going to make a comment. You're just starting to become a podcast connoisseur.
The guy.
Throughout Indiana.
He came in with his iPad. He was ready. He's looking up stats. I love this. It's great.
I'm turning into professional. You know?
Yeah.
It's moving up.
I used to hate being on podcasts, but I don't know.
It's not so bad, right?
Yeah.
You've got a knack for it. You've become notorious for your takes.
Yeah, I might have to take it a little easy this week. I pissed a lot of people off last week for Griffle Ball, so maybe I can piss some people off on Leroy too.
Well, I think you've already pissed off one, but
yeah, we'll get to that.
Hence a poll. Certain polls.
A lot of polls on Twitter. All right, so we're going to start off by recapping week 1. It was a blustery week 1, but we could talk about that after.
Wind was wonderful.
So we're going to start.
A couple wins for the Wind last week.
Yeah.
I know. So we're going to start off with the 6 o'clock games. We're going to run through them. I'll do 6 o'clock games. Ryan will read off the 7 o'clock. So 6 o'clock games, the Liners won the first game 21-8. Over the Maniacs. Bashers lost 17-13 in a close game to the Vultures. Crocs won a close one 2-1 over the Sliders. Scrappin' Turtles won over my Narwhals 3-1. And then Barnstormers. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
4-2 over the Bombers in the first games. And then Ryan, what do you got for the 7 o'clock games?
Yes, for the 7 o'clock games, we got the Barnstormers winning 8-2 over the Corn Bombers. The Scrappin' Turtles / Wind winning 4-3 over the Narwhals in a close game. The Clay Street Crocs winning 5-4 over the Sliders in extras. Croc Rock. Valiant Vultures 19-4 over the Bashers.
In a game that was called early.
Yeah, 3 innings, I believe.
I want to talk about that.
Because they just said screw it.
I want to talk about that in a little bit.
And then the finish it off, the Liners continuing their dominance, 17-7 over the Maniacs.
So let's get to the aforementioned the Wind there. Played a big factor in the game. So
yes.
If you look at stats too, it really played a big factor in if you look at the top hitting stats, it's every single person that was either on Harambe or PNC, and then the other fields.
You can tell by the scores. Just
oh yeah,
there's 2-1, 3-1, 4-2 games, and then there's 21-8, 17-13. That's a football.
You put a ball in the air and it's gone.
I hit a few balls to the pitcher that ended up carrying into the parking lot. So It was out of
And
control.
A few of my players hit some that were almost at the fence that came back to the
I
pitcher.
think
so.
I watched Deal and Buzek put some off of Tim's house.
And then they didn't pick them up and they got penalties. So that
Oh
sucks.
my word! Free money.
Yeah.
Free money.
Yeah, we need it.
You aren't wrong.
The Crocs need it.
Everyone in this room needs
Well,
it.
after the new Kermit rule, we don't need it so much.
Yeah. Well, some
Wonderful.
Of us, some of us don't need it.
Wonderful. Would you like to elaborate your
Are
thoughts,
we gonna
Greg?
go into that right away?
Eh.
Or are we gonna talk about the week 1 stuff first?
It was a
Is
week-
there anything else really that we want to talk about?
Well, that's a huge week 1 development.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a upcoming thing, But whatever. So the new Kermit rule is Kermits are now going to be $0 for the rest of the season.
You
so
betcha.
if you have them on your Kermit roster, they're going to be $0 every game they play for you. The only time they get that salary is when they are signed to a main roster, which is really the only way they can ever leave. So,
Is the 4-game rule still in effect?
well, yeah. So after 4 games, they can be signed,
Right.
and then, yeah. So then you might be kind of out of a Kermit, but,
For the record, I would like everyone who listens to this to know I actually didn't even know this rule was a thing until about an hour ago.
It's pretty convenient
Helps for me.
because Caleb has one of
Grant, if you listen, you need to pick up Rat, not
the
Deal.
one team that is just completely strapped on salary. Just so happens to have the best Kermit player available. And then this rule passes after the guy hits like 16
Shocking.
home runs last week.
Hi, hello. There is no collusion. You may check my DMs.
Absolutely not.
But the Crocs, we get to keep Mikey Kubaki all year if we want him. So
True story.
Provides great Twitter entertainment.
he does.
Actually,
And he has
I'm
the
not going to
highest-
promote his Twitter. Don't check it out, please, for your own safety, for your own
Crocs
for your own health.
If you're gonna do
At Croc season.
Please
You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
please check his likes.
No, oh no.
Love you, Mikey.
Likes and
This is a
retweets.
family-friendly podcast here. No, what was very interesting for me, first of all, I said I was going to do this. I wasn't going to, and then I was like, screw it. John Enningenberg, I'm sorry, we ruined you. Okay, your ERA is 50.
He's dead.
20 earned runs. And
They
it
gave
got
up 24 last year.
total.
Yes. No. In first week.
So this is a theme, a recurring theme.
So we lost, I think it was like 28-24 the first game in extras.
Really?
And I
Well-
gave up 16 of those runs
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
But
with recording 2 outs total.
51.43 ERA. 10 home runs, 22 hits. Opponent batting average 759. Not good.
750. Oh man, I didn't realize it was that bad. I mean, so kind of something we can get into and talk about. I mean, Kevin had to have some of his guys leave early from his team. It got later on in the night too. I think for me it was very interesting to see and I didn't make any predictions week 1, but there were a lot of things that happened that I did not expect to be at play. Like you look at the Vultures taking 2 from the Bashers. Now, granted, the Bashers didn't have their best team, but the Bashers still put up 13 runs in the first game. They won by 4. I mean, I knew you guys were a good team, but Mikey played well. He was your highest salaried player, right, that whole week. So, I mean, and our team, I mean, granted, it was a huge advantage of the wind blowing out with me and Rat, but Matt Miller hit 6 homers. So there was a bunch of things and then the Turtles beating the Narwhals twice. To me, this was a really, really funky week 1 in that a lot of the things that, maybe you don't expect a bunch of sweeps to happen, but teams that I thought might have split or been on the fence dominated. I don't know.
Every
Did you guys
series
see
was
that?
a sweep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ended up
Every
with
series was a sweep.
Yeah, the Crocs ended up with a sweep, but it was a close series. Both games went into extras. We were able to take the win in both games in the 6th inning.
I mean, the Turtles hit a walk-off in the second one, and that was on
Homer
a free
or
play.
hit?
It was a ground ball up the middle past Sam's legs. T-Walk was on second,
Yeah.
and I went to dive and get the ball and tap on second, and I got elbowed in the temple. And so
By
I
who?
tried to throw it to Sam as quick as
Were
possible.
you on the ground?
Yes.
How'd
For-
you get elbowed on the ground?
Justin Deckinga took a slide, and then as he was sliding, went back with his elbow.
A hoss. He's an absolute
I
tank.
just remember seeing
That's
Greg
true.
after all the games, and he walked up to me and said, "I think
I
I
have a concussion. He said the same thing to me. Absolutely. So that's not.
He said, "I think I broke my ankle." And had a concussion.
Okay,
what
so
are you doing over there, Greg?
I'm looking at
No,
this
I meant on the
chat.
field. During your game, I was just like, "What the hell is happening?"
Oh,
on your
yeah.
field? Because you are a battered up man.
Oh, yeah. I twisted my ankle really badly, too. I was sitting in my staff meeting before I went to Leroy that day, and I was like, man, my ankle's really hurting. And then I went to second on a play. The only time I was on base all day, I ran a second, twisted my ankle again.
Worse than the All-Star game?
No.
No.
That was bad. Ooh.
I thought you tore something.
It felt
Like
worse
torn.
than. I have bad ankles, but
Yeah.
yeah, it felt worse than.
So, okay, your game. Winds blowing in obviously plays a huge factor. But I look at what happened, and in years past, there's just been monster question marks with your teams notoriously, right? Like, who's going to be that number 2? Can you guys hit? Yeah, you lost to the Turtles, but with the wind blowing in, it took a lot of your ability to hit out of play. Some positives to take away from week 1 from your team.
Oh, yeah. I'm not, really too worried about it. I just was messing around with Tim and Matt.
Right.
Because, Tim loves to just go on Twitter after a matchup and just talk a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I think Sam said one thing all week, and, they were making it sound like we were talking trash.
Right.
Sam Stahl talked a lot of crap to me while I was on and then he ended up blowing the save in both games to get the losses. Thoughts?
Oh, dear.
He's ready to face off against you this week.
Oh, we'll get into that. Oh, that's going to be fun to talk about. I mean,
It was an interesting when I invited Voges on the podcast for that reason.
Right.
We're playing each other.
Right. I mean,
Actually, Greg invited me, and I said, "Do you think it's a good idea to have me on the podcast when I face you this week?" He said,
no.
"How about next week?"
Wonderful. No, I Vince did what he was supposed to do. He was great, which was good. And then
home run in the wind.
home run in the wind.
Hit it into the tree.
And Sam is a better pitcher than what he did. So
Yeah.
if you get that 1-2, you're going to throw better than you did last year.
for the
fully
first
believe
time ever, Greg Geerling has a single-digit ERA.
Let's
Facts.
go.
Clap it up.
that. Facts.
There we go.
Facts.
So anyway, yeah, because the last couple years I have, the ERA,
Right.
yeah, I was in about the 90s last
Right.
year after week 1. So
Tell me about Tyler Van Kuiken.
Love the guy.
Do you?
Yes, absolutely love him. So
Tyler's
just a little
a good-
backstory.
yeah.
We show up to the field, Crocs. It's about
Oh,
6:15.
I'm gonna love
we're,
this.
we're sending a couple feelers out to people. Where's Micah Hescott?
Oh,
comes up to me, asks for his number.
where's Micah?
I'm walking around the field saying, "Who here is friends with Micah Hescott?" Absolutely no one speaks up. Just trying to find out where this kid is. He said on Facebook the day before, "I'll be there." Call him, text him, nothing. Finally get a response 2 hours later saying, "Sick, sorry, I wasn't looking at my phone." So we have to scramble, and we find this random guy, Tyler Van
Kuiken.
Van Kuiken.
Yeah, he literally just showed up because Jeff was playing. His friend was going to play for the Sliders, and he goes, "Yeah, I just wanted to check it out, and I figured if anybody needs a guy."
This man performed.
Yeah,
He
Just
played well?
Fresh off the street, he had a bunch of good hits for us. He's fielding pretty well, and he pitched well.
Did he?
I don't have his stats up, but I know he was right. He was right behind Jackson.
yeah.
and I.
Tyler Van Kuiken hit 333. Let me look at his pitching stats.
Yeah,
I mean,
hitting 333 in a day where the wind is blowing straight in.
Right.
Never playing.
he gave up in 2 innings. He gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs.
Wow. You'll
Never-
take that
never
for your
playing-
first time?
for a 4.
Yeah.
Goodness
fresh off the street,
gracious.
never playing wiffle ball. Absolutely.
You guys hit the jackpot unlike the
And
Bulls.
he is he's in our starting lineup tomorrow also.
Yeah, it's a
little
good pickup.
controversy in the group chat. Tim stirred up.
Why? What did he say?
Tim he removed Micah from our group
No.
and then decided to talk to us about Micah. And then as we were talking about Micah, he added Micah back into the
Oh,
group
he
chat.
did
That's
that
a
on
Tim
purpose.
move. That's why you
Definitely.
don't say
We didn't
anything
really
in
say
that
anything
chat.
bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's why
Um,
you don't say anything in that chat because he'll do stuff like that.
But Micah said he's for sure going to be there tomorrow, whether or not we put him in the lineup. And he's not in the lineup.
So
it's going to be a little interesting.
That's going to be awkward. That'll be interesting.
I mean, if he wants to show up, if he wants to prove that he's going to show up tomorrow, then
cool.
We want the $1 from the draft.
That would be nice.
But
well, I think
you have to play him.
I know. Well, we're not going to get it this week. I'm just saying, in the future, if he proves to us he's actually going to show up,
then you'll do that.
Then we'll play him. But
well,
that $1 and
just be careful when he gets into his fireworks job. He becomes MIA, selling some fireworks.
So yeah,
Dave Buchek came up to me,
Ooh.
and hot topic. Love Dave. He asked me how many homers I hit, and I said I think I hit like 8 or 9. I ended up hitting 8, and he goes, "Yeah, man, I hit 7." And I was like, "You hit 7?" And then I come to find out he didn't hit 7. He hit 4 and took 3 25-pitch home runs in one game. In one game. Two questions.
So that was
2
the
follow-ups.
second, right?
2 follow-ups.
Because he hit 4
to
in
that.
the first game.
Right. 2 follow-ups. One, he played the Bashers. How do you 3 separate occasions not hit the zone? And second of all,
75 pitches.
Oh, who was pitching?
Okay. Second of all,
Who
I
was
now
pitching?
understand why the game ended in the 3rd inning. Thoughts on that, and I want to hear opinions.
Holy
What
cow.
should there be a penalty for that?
For ending it early?
Yes.
I know it messes up the stats, but at that point it was 9:00, and the lights are terrible.
Historically does not like staying past 8.
No.
Well, he was already being
He was getting
my
pushed.
teammate, he was my teammate last year, and he
So-
quick pitched for the sole purpose
Of getting out early.
So
I mean, it was effective. For
I
him,
mean,
Right.
I've said this before. I think Dave's gonna be a really good hitter this year.
absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I think he had a lot going for him. Like those 4 they hit out. I mean, Deal hit a bunch of home runs too. Everyone kind of did on that field.
Can I tell
Tapper
you? Can I
hit
tell the fans what Dave said to me as he was rounding
Please do.
3rd on his first home run?
I would love that.
He looked at me dead in the eyes as I was standing in right field and said, "Voges, I'm going to triple your numbers this year. You suck."
He
He is not happy with you being the first pick.
and
huh?
he does not care. I mean, last year he's made it evidently known that he's coming for my throne. I've gotten messages, multiple messages. I'm coming for it this year. I said, "Okay, Dave, do your
he
worst."
Definitely thinks I'm the most overrated player in wiffle ball. But it's okay.
That's fine.
That's why we play, man. This is fun.
You want to
This-
talk
it's-
about overrated stats? Grant is hitting 909 right now.
That was a question from a question.
909.
No one understands.
Well, when you take 10 pitch singles every at bat, it's pretty
He had
easy to do.
He was 10 for 11 with 7 singles and 3 doubles.
Were any of those earned?
I
That
don't
would be the
think so.
question.
I don't think so.
I watched Tapper put 2 into the grassy area behind.
We've always known Tapper can do that.
I want to see him
Out.
if he can pitch. I wanted to see him throw strikes because he can hit, but it just frustrates me that he doesn't. Yeah, and then my game was kind of a shit show. I mean, I'll just be honest.
Yeah,
mean-
when you have pop-ups right behind the plate going out.
Well, but it wasn't even that, dude. Matt Miller.
Can we talk about your game? So looking at the stats, the top 4 players for at bats.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all you.
yeah,
It's all
that
you.
would be the liners. Yep, so that's it
17,
right there.
17, 16, and 16. That's
Stupid.
just asinine.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'll be completely real with you. I knew Matt Miller. I saw him last year. He was an athlete. He looked athletic. And I was like, well, we'll try it out. He hit 625 with 10 hits, 6 homers, which was the same as Rat, 12 RBI, 4 more than Rat. And on the mound, pitched 2 innings. How many runs did he give up? Where was his ERA?
Yeah, well then
12
Maniacs.
ERA, but I mean,
Maniacs struggled, and then they had
then they had
those
Lucas and
people
Jack leave.
leave
They said
for
bye.
softball.
See ya.
Leave
So-
for the other aforementioned sport.
All me and Rat had to do was throw the ball at the zone and make sure we hit it 3 times, which was not as easy as it looked. I'll be completely real.
I know.
I got to an 8-2 count on Lucas, Well, the ghost of Lucas passed, and I got very nervous. I was like, if I put a guy on first that's not even in the batter's box, I may just need to retire. So, but no, it's good to get 2 wins. I mean, I wasn't messing around. I had the Maniacs ranked number 1, so I was very nervous going into the game. But yeah, I mean, if Rat's going to hit like that and if Matt's going to hit like that, and I love Rob. Rob did his job. He got on base. He threw strikes. I mean, he had one bad inning that blew up his ERA, but other than that, he didn't give up any runs. So, a good first week. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Nothing from Voges. All right. So, we're going to take a short break and then come back and look ahead to week 2 since we got all the lineups and stuff now. So,
correct.
Yeah, we'll see you on the other side.
It was also a tough day to judge it.
And we're back on the other side. We're going to recap, we did recap. We're going to look forward to week 2.
We're not recapping. We've recapped enough.
I just said
Greg.
that. I corrected myself.
20 minutes.
Don't jump down my damn throat.
There we go.
Sorry. Gosh.
Yeah, come
Trying
on,
to be
host.
nice
Get
guy
your
Greg, and then, I try and correct my mistake, and
I
then
want
you jump
old
down my
Greg.
throat before.
I want to
you
hear hot takes in this portion from you.
Absolutely not.
Why?
I'm too nice.
You're too scared of what people will say on Twitter.
True.
Greg, I just had a poll made about me on Twitter.
True.
Opposite ends of the spectrum
I
on my right
I
and
did
left.
shut down the Badgers, I believe, because they had to start bringing
But you did it very nicely.
Are we getting into that
switched
now?
up. Huh?
Or we want to get to that?
I mean, it's not really that
I mean,
big
Oh.
of a deal.
I'm kind of literally in the center of that argument.
We'll get there in the question back.
I'm literally the argument. That's what
Okay.
I need to- All right.
You are an honorable.
Carl
member
thinks that he
there.
stirs the pot. Our bogus.
Hi, Carl Coffee.
Call him the ladle.
The ladle.
The ladle.
So we're gonna look ahead, and this is how we're gonna do this. We're gonna look at the lineups. We got all the lineups in. It is Tuesday after the deadline.
Well,
Grant
we
barely got it in
barely.
because Friedman put him on mute. Not my podcast from going on mute.
And then Joey. Who knows what happened to Joey?
who
Shout
knows?
out Joey, Griffith High School grad.
Go Panthers.
He was a year
Yeah, I
younger.
saw him at the Squirrel Tooth last year.
Yeah, he's a year
Oh,
younger.
yeah, that's right. At the Squirrel Tooth. And we're going back this year.
I used to play football with him.
Oh,
at,
and Tim just posted
Barrier.
a nice
Really?
handy
Yep.
picture for us. Wonderful.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful.
So,
I just
Shout
spent
out
all that
Tim.
time
Anyway.
putting that
Best
on.
best commissioner in Indiana.
Wow, that's a
Ooh,
statement.
Yikes. Anyway,
We'll get to that
so
comment, too.
we are going to start off with the Vultures and Badgers, the Harambe Showcase game. So
I'm sorry. Just got to say this for a quick second.
I sent it to you, Ryan, on your message.
Valiant Vultures is definitely in the death bracket of team names. Continue.
But they are in the top 4 of team images, team logo.
I like their image.
I don't like the pink in the beak. That's just
I'm a
not
big.
me.
It's a. You're not a wrestling fan, but it's got a lot of Bret Hart vibes for anybody out there that watches wrestling or saw my Halloween outfit.
What
from
is the
last year.
sorcery
Is that
you speak of?
Voges?
Yeah, Bret Hart. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
I also have the
So-
big unit bashers in my death bracket of team names, if you were wondering. But continue.
So
Maybe the
Vultures at
Ooh.
Badgers to start off, and then they'll switch around for the second game. On Harambe, it's going to be Garrett, Dave, Quinn, and Chris Deal versus Marty, Jared, Cam Verlan, and Joel Dykstra. Has he ever done anything
Absolutely not.
spherical object related?
Is this the little brother of Matt?
No, this is
JD?
a classmate of Jared's who Jared mows lawns with occasionally on weekends.
I've seen some snap videos.
Yes.
So, thoughts on the series? What do you think? I personally see a split here.
Interesting. Okay. Rationale.
I think the Vultures will get him in game 2. I think there's a good amount of hitting there.
See, I think Vultures get him in game 1, if anything.
I think Marty pitching 2 there will kind of so like Marty and Garrett will kind of even out. I could see them, getting some runs off of Deal and Quinn the first game.
If
Maybe
Sheriff pitches well,
come
I
out.
think they split. If
Well-
Sheriff pitches poorly, I think Vultures sweep.
Well, that's kind of why in game 2 I was thinking, him having to pitch 2 innings, so that would be their, third inning against him.
Yeah.
I think they can get some runs. So that was kind of my rationale behind it. So that's why I think split.
I think
you?
I think Dave and Jared, I think the top 2 cancel each other out. I think it's a toss-up between Cam and Quinn, and Chris is definitely a better forward than Joel Dykstra. So
hitting wise,
and
wind dependent. I watched Deal pitch last week since Deal is one of my good friends. Really upset he's not on the Crocs.
Yeah.
Not good.
Just missed out on that. Huh?
I know Joel Dykstra from Miliana, great guy, not an athlete.
Chris
I
Deal
would say
is
Chris
an athlete.
Deal's worst, maybe better than Joel Dykstra's best.
Okay.
I'm not going to mince words there. So, I'm going to throw. I know I can't say this because I actually have to pick because we're putting it to a vote. Oh, yeah, I can't do that to Jared week 1. I'm going to say split.
All right, so this is going to be my first bias of the week.
Okay, I like it.
As a part of Badgers Nation, I am going to...
You weren't a part of Badger Nation.
Sir, I was on the Badgers in the Wiffle Classic last year.
Oh
wore the Badgers green.
Did you get to keep the shirt? No. At this point, he needs to retire.
Do you guys want to discuss my current outfit?
He's wearing his
Truckers
Barnstormer
and
shirt.
Barnstormers.
Yep, shout out to them.
Weren't you going to be a Barnstormer? What happened there?
I don't know. Talk to Jackson.
Croc.
Gag's not happy that I'm wearing this shirt also. I showed it to him. But anyways,
Not my rippers.
I played with Marty last year on the Dusters for a week. Big Marty guy. Jared, love him. And then I don't know. I got a sweep here for the Badgers.
Well,
Coming out hot. The Vultures faced some pretty bad pitching last week, and they had the wind at their back.
Yeah.
I think the Badgers come out hot, look to make a statement. I'm going sweep.
okay.
So
we
then
have
that would be a split for majority, right?
correct.
So that's how we're doing this. So that's going to be a split.
It's probably the
And then-
logical, the logical outcome.
It's good
Well,
that you're here
yes.
though, because we're too logical sometimes.
And yeah. So what we're going to do at the end of this, we'll kind of go through the standings as they would be
Correct.
with our voted majority
correct.
ranking. Okay. Next is Minute Maid against the Maniacs and Sluggers.
This is an interesting
Uh,
matchup.
Ryan, you want to tell us the lineups for this game?
Yeah. So for the Maniacs, we got Kevin Vroeg. I might be saying this all wrong,
That's
but
right.
That's good.
John
Henningberg.
Henningberg. Oh, yeah. Jack Hilligan's a teammate of mine in the Truckers last year for a little bit. And Matt Kimmel. Don't know who that is.
Chandler's brother,
Sure.
also
And-
an alcoholic. Continue.
Okay.
Yep.
Squint Sluggers, we got Eric Detmar, James Hayworth, big fan of him, Jason Hilligans, and Luke Hilligans.
Cousins.
I feel like there's a lot of
Cousins.
Hilligans going on in this game.
There is.
It's the Hilligans Bowl
Wow.
here. I don't know any of them besides Jack. I don't know. Jason was on the Sluggers last year.
Yeah, he was on Sluggers. Yep.
He was good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was
I'm
on
gonna-
part of my bold predictions. So what's your prediction for this
So
matchup?
I'm gonna go with a split. I'm gonna go with a split here. The Maniacs got kind of embarrassed last week by the Liners. I think that's gonna
Kind
leave,
of.
yeah, just a little bit. I think that's gonna leave a bad taste in their mouth.
We pulled their pants down, took them behind the barn, and said, "Sit down, son." That's what we did.
Yep.
So
That's the Liners. So, yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of names on this team that are too talented to end up going 0-4 in the year. But the Sluggers historically have always been good. They got a solid lineup there. So I'm gonna go with the split.
Interesting. Well, Matt Kimmel is not a good wiffle ball player. Good soccer ball player.
Ooh.
Soccer player. Soccer player.
ball.
He's not a good wiffle ball player. Jack actually looked decent from the mound, so that'll be fine. Kevin was by far their best player last week. He's going to be looking good. We'll see if John can emotionally recover from
Oh yeah.
what happened last week. That was an
Can
atrocity.
literally only go up from there.
That's true. And that's how you have to look at it. When,
Right.
like last year, when I gave up all those runs,
Right.
You gotta look at it as, well, there's nowhere but up from here.
Now, the only runs they did score were off of slow pitching, and I can guarantee you the Sluggers are going to throw a lot less 5 counts than we will.
True.
I have a Slugger sweep here, and in controversy, the Maniacs dropped to 0-4. I think Eric and James and Jason will be smart at the plate. Luke potentially be smart at the plate too, and they'll move the ball around. I mean, they're not the greatest in the field. Kevin's a good fielder, but when he's pitching, there's not a ton behind him, and I think they could really score off Matt. I think Luke's a better 4 than Matt. I think the slugger's sweet.
Can I say one thing about Matt Kimmel?
Sure.
I played soccer my whole life. Never played baseball other than t-ball. I turned out okay at wiffle ball, so I got a lot of faith in Matt Kimmel. Matt Kimmel's going to come out tomorrow and shock the world.
Interesting.
I will take the under on that.
The under on shocking the world?
Yes, yes, definitely.
I am going to agree with one of you, and I'm going to agree with Caleb here. Yeah, this is kind of my bold. This is kind of a bold prediction.
Is
too.
it bold when the majority picks it?
We've had,
Thoughts?
yeah, I know. Well, okay. If I would have gone first, I would have said.
Don't listen to him. Give your rationale.
But
This is what
anyway,
you think.
I know.
See, you care about what people think.
No.
What do you think?
Greg, I'm going to turn you
could
to
you
a bad
stop?
guy of this
I'm trying to
podcast.
talk. You guys suck.
Figure it out.
You're never coming on my podcast.
Hey,
Again.
Greg.
Anyway,
Me or Caleb?
it's a lot of the same
Me.
reasons as like Caleb.
You're the new
and
co-host.
My reasons for saying having them at the ranking they were before. John, we'll see if he can bounce back, like you just said. Jack, I still don't have faith that he can be consistent from the mound. I think they're going to be a lot better hitting this week. Like, I think they'll still score 8 to... Or not, no. No, I don't see that. What am I thinking? No, that was wrong. I think the Sluggers are going to pitch a lot better than, what you guys did just because of the wind especially.
Right.
It's not going to be a factor.
Yep.
James throws strikes. Jason throws strikes.
Yep.
This all comes down to Luke. And
Right.
Brett and Eric have shown time and time again that they are the pitching whisperer.
Yep.
Because they can get anyone to pitch.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's my reasoning. So in the majority pick, that's 2-0 for the Sluggers.
Yep.
I'll go over the lineups since it's the...
Why can't I go over the lineups?
Well, I mean...
You go over lineups. Voges goes over lineups.
It was
I can
your
never
team,
go over
so I
any-
was going to
Oh.
skip over that one
Never mind.
and
Yeah, then go
introduce
ahead.
your team. So
Thanks. Go ahead.
I'd kind of actually like to hear Caleb introduce his team. He'll hype
Okay,
him up a
go
lot
ahead,
better
Caleb.
than we will.
Nope. I defer to the majority.
Okay.
Well, that was a split there.
Is that
so
me or
that's, yeah, I don't know.
Am I up? All right, I'm up. All right, so on Fenway, we have the Lake County Liners 2-0 at the
Hi,
Backdoor Sliders 0-2. For the Liners, we got Caleb
This is a
Youngman.
split lineup, by the way, for the Sliders.
Ooh.
Just
Oh, yeah, I see it there. Okay. Is that game 1, game 2?
yeah.
Okay. So the Liners have Caleb Youngman, Jeremy Radishak making another appearance. Would be his last week until the new Caleb rule came into effect.
That's literally what this rule is.
22 games for Rat.
Matt Miller is a 3 and Rob Warren as the 4. And for the Sliders, we got Alec Gerlach at 1, Brian Travis 2. For game 1, Mosell's in the 3. And then for game 2, Barnes is in the
I think
3.
it's actually flipped, to be honest.
Sure. And then,
Ryan's-
yeah, that makes sense. Moselle did that last week
Right.
with us, too.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way. And then Jeff Borkowski
Yep.
at the 4.
You said that right.
Fuck yeah.
That was a good one.
Thanks.
Uh,
You can lead it off? No, you can lead it off.
yeah, sure. I have to give a shout out to my boy Jeff Rowe, former Deer Creek Christian alumni
Go Lions.
and Viking baseball alumni as well.
I don't know
For
what any of
Ileana
that means.
So Jeff went to my grade school and my high school,
Oh,
and he played baseball at Ileana with.
Was he part of the milkshake incident?
No, he was not.
Okay.
So
Can I hear
We'll
about
talk-
that?
I promised
we'll
him
talk
I'd give him a
about
shout out
that.
on the podcast. So Jeff, that's for you, bud.
He listens?
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
So, I
Good to hear
guess-
from
I
you.
guess so. I
welcome
don't
to
know.
the
I
league,
mean,
I think. I don't
we'll
know if
see.
he's played before, but
so, yeah, Jeff's a great guy. This one's tough for me. I'm gonna say Liners though, just because I'm gonna say Liners sweep. Just because I don't ever want to say Liners get swept or split, and then have to come on this podcast again and then hear Caleb. So that's why I just do that. So, but
Caleb,
I really do think that Caleb and Rat are going to hit quite a bit, and if Matt can just supplement that and Rob gets on base, they're going to do really well. And then it just comes down to, are they going to have enough hitting? Jeff was 545 batting average last week, so he hit pretty
He can
well.
stick, yeah.
and Moselle. It just comes down to them Barnes.
That's
too.
who that is. Okay.
Yeah.
I hit a home run off him.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's what I see. Caleb.
I'm just really excited to play Barney Rubble again. He absolutely gifted us the ship last year. It was wonderful. I can't wait to ask him, and he's going to have nightmares tonight seeing us again. Hayworth putting ding-dongs over the fence on him. Deckinga ripping doubles off the middle. Listen, we're going to put up another 8 spot on Binky Barnes, okay? It's going to be an absolute train wreck. I'm going to show Alec that he's still the younger one. He is Daniel's son, and I'm still Mr. Miyagi. And Brian Travis, Brian's good, but he also lost the Sluggers the game last year. I'm in Jordan's head.
Well, I think those
I own prime real estate in Moselle's head. So, liner's sweep.
I'd love to be the contrarian, but I can't. Liners are going to sweep here. I faced the Sliders last week. They're all pretty good pitchers, but they're all straight ball pitchers. Yeah. I think Caleb and Rat are going to tee off on them. They're both very good fast pitch hitters. And I've watched all 4 of them throw just straight fastballs, and I just think they're going to tee off. The pitching was pretty good. Jeff was actually a pretty good pitcher.
Was he?
He's got a good fastball.
Okay.
He's pretty accurate.
Yeah, he threw pretty well. And he wasn't a pitcher, but I mean, he has strong arm.
Yeah,
but it's a straight ball?
It's a straight ball. That's why I hit the home run. I'm good against straight. You should be.
Well, if you're playing GBL and here,
yeah. So
you should be good.
I think this game is just teed up for Caleb to continue his hot start and potentially get his salary up to $80. But it will not matter because again, the new Caleb rule is in effect.
Again, no affiliation with the rule or the decision-making process.
All right, put it on the majority.
2-0.
Next matchup, Caleb. Because you get to just announce this great lineup here.
Oh, I'm excited. I am so excited. So we've got on Wrigley.
In a shocking twist where the Scrapping Turtles get the most luck in the first 4 games of the season. Let's continue.
I don't even know how to say this matchup with a straight face. In the 1 slot, matching up against each other, is Justin Deckinga from the Scrappin' Turtles versus Grant Reinhout of the Big Unit Bashers. In the 2nd slot, we've got Maddie the Kid D versus Tap Piece Kyle Reinhout, who's doing a whole lot of tapping this year. We've got in the 3 hole, Timmy against
Commissioner versus
maybe the
Commissioner.
4th ranked commissioner in Indiana, Alex Friedman. Is that controversial? Yeah. I didn't say manager. I said commissioner. No, I'm joking. I actually don't know where he sits. It's not 1 or 2, though. And then we've
probably
got
5 behind me.
Probably 5. Oh, no. I wonder where Bemidji's commissioner stands. No, I'm kidding. We love you, Al.
Love you.
And then 4 is Tyler Walk against Elijah Richardson, who may sub in his son to play a few at-bats. May have him hit or
Rob
pitch.
has the son. Elijah has the daughter.
No, Elijah's got the kid, right. And
they both have
don't you
kids.
remember, we're starting the Leroy daycare. We're going to have B make these kids make straw bales in the barn during games and sell them.
Rob has a kid, too.
I did find toys on my field last week.
Wonderful.
So,
exactly.
And they are playing on Wrigley, and that's the field I played on.
We can have them cut some new turf for us. That'll be good. No.
Jesus Christ.
What is there to say about this matchup? I don't.
Lots of ding-dongs.
If the wind's blowing out, I mean, the Turtles are going to put 40 on the Bashers, both games, regardless of what happens.
I think it's a 40-30 game, though.
I don't know. I mean, Tim can throw strikes, Matt can throw strikes, Justin can throw strikes. I mean, I just look at Grant and Kyle, and, I mean, Grant threw better last week, but, I mean, if Tap doesn't find the plate, Al is an 8-run magnet. Elijah, I don't even know if he's thrown a wiffle ball in 2 years. I mean, it's this one has.
Last time we saw him,
I'll say this: the Big Unit Bashers have the potential in this one to be quitting game 2 early again for the 2nd straight week. That's all I'll say. So you're gonna make me pick a result here. I can't even say one team's gonna sweep and one's not. I'm gonna call a split just for lack of confidence in either roster in any type. Shape or no, I'll say Turtle sweep because Matt's a good hitter. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Matt is, if you look at that matchup, Matt is the best player on both of those teams. by far.
Now, I will say this, though. If Tapper gets hot,
yeah, I mean, he could
the
hit
Bashers
a bunch of
have a
home runs.
shot.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's like really what they
if
need
Tapper
to do.
gets hot,
and if
they
Grant
have a chance.
can do what he was doing by just getting on,
right.
that's going to help him. I mean, that one game was 14-17.
Yeah.
And the wind was blowing out. So
Right.
usually Wrigley isn't a blowing out field.
Right.
But of course last week it was not. But
Right.
yeah. So I'm just gonna stop talking about this and say sweep for the Turtles as well. Voges.
Just want to let everyone know Tyler Walk is having a revolutionary year in wiffle ball this year.
Let's hear this.
His hitting's good.
I don't know what he did in Leroy last week, but I saw him in GBL last week hit
400 and drove in about 5 runs.
Ooh, tough subject. Well, GBL, he also hit a grand slam and 3-run home run back to back.
Oh, jeez.
Tyler Walk.
So he has more homers and RBI than me in GBO.
Tyler Walk is a problem.
He's an issue. Interesting.
He hit the line 3 times, like down the left field line 3 times.
I mean, you got to put it where the fielders aren't. I almost called you Tyler.
I couldn't believe it. I was just like,
Facts.
Tyler Walk problem. I mean, it's a sweep. Turtles 4-0. Shock of the wiffle world.
Watch them be ranked in the NWLA
anyone
with the
can get
Nasty
on
Boys
that.
getting honorable mention.
No, the Titanic swim team was the number 17 ranked.
Don't get me started. Jeez Louise.
Shout out NWLA. Always
Good.
on top of it.
So we're saying a turtle sweep 2-0.
Turtles
that's-
Turtles sweep.
Big consensus there.
I'm at a loss for words.
Caleb, you also want to announce this next one?
No, I just made a big stink for no reason. Go, you do it. You finish it.
No, it's ours.
Oh,
our
it's your.
matchup.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right, Crocs, Narwhals, PNC, Greg's favorite field to play on of all time.
I hit
For-
3 home runs in one game there.
No
last year.
idea what field. Oh, I know what field it is because
Closest
of that
to
game.
Tim's
That's
house.
also the same field you flip the bench on.
True.
Correct. Yep.
Facts.
Lots of good and bad moments there.
Also true. So we've got. Sorry, we're watching the Warriors game. It's very exciting right now. Steve Kerr just got up and was screaming at somebody. For the Clay Street Crocs, Buzz is leading off. Voges is hitting second. Guy whose Twitter should be removed from the Twitter
Croc season
atmosphere
on
hitting
Twitter,
third.
at
Mike
Croc
Kabaki
season.
Jr. Again, do not go look at it,
SZN.
please. If you have children below the... no, if you are even a human being, don't go look at it. And then batting fourth is Tyler Van Kuiken. For the Noble Narwhals, Vince Carullo leading off. Sam Stahl in the 2 hole. Zach Heiss hitting third. And Gregory G., a.k.a. the Poke Master, a.k.a. Game Board Guy, hitting fourth. My thoughts. It's another week where I think wind will play a factor. I think that if the wind is blowing out, it's a pretty even.
It's supposed to be blowing in from left at 3 miles an hour.
Very specific.
My
team was on top of this.
Interesting. Okay, in from left at 3 miles an hour. Okay, so that will play a role. I think that actually helps the Narwhals a little bit more than it does the Crocs. We'll see how Kubaki and Tyler throw.
Kubanaki.
If Sam can throw more strikes, I see this being a very low-scoring affair. I think Ryan could push a few out to right field. Vince could do the same, though. So, I don't know. I'm just gonna because if the wind is actually blowing in, and let's say for the sake of this argument that it is, I'm gonna say a split here between the two. I think the Crocs win game 1, and if Kubaki does not throw well for 2 innings in the second, or potentially have to, Voges will throw 2. Then you got Kubaki and Tyler in the middle of the game. I say a split between Crocs and Narwhals.
I'll defer to you, Greg.
Defer to me, huh?
If the wind, for the record, if the wind was blowing out, I would have said a Croc sweep.
Okay.
So I'm assuming, for argument's sake, the wind is blowing in.
Okay. So I am gonna say I want to say sweep, but I'm gonna be reasonable and I'm gonna say a split. I think we get to Kubaki or Tyler at least 1 inning, enough to get a couple runs to put us in a lead, and then have our guys shut it down. 1 game. So I'm not counting on that for both. Would I like it? Yes, but I think I'm gonna say split just for trying to be level-headed. Because if I would have picked against the Turtles, I would have said that we win both. But obviously, it didn't work out like that. So I'm gonna say split.
Anything else?
I mean,
I don't think you said anything about any players.
what do you mean?
Talk about your team.
Well, I mean, Vince is.
I'm gonna talk mine up.
I mean, Vince and Zach are really good hitters.
I don't know who Zach is at all.
He's new.
Tell me
He's friends
tell
with
me his
Vince.
tendencies.
He's just trying to get a scouting
I
report
know,
on you right now.
Exactly.
I'd be smarter than that.
Darn.
So,
Okay.
You know Sam. So
I do. Sam and I as the twos is quite.
You
It's quite.
don't know me now. You don't know my new pitching.
Craig, I've literally been training you for the last 3 months.
But I've not thrown pitches to you.
That's fine. So, anyways, yeah. So Croc sweep.
Wow, shocking.
Not even biased. Just I think we are the better team. Just all around. Jackson's better than Vince. Sam might have me on pitching because of accuracy, but I think I got him on hitting, so that's probably a wash there.
I'd agree.
And then I don't know Zach, so Kubaki surprised me last week, and I think if he can play smart like he did, he listened to what me and Jackson were telling him. He was very coachable.
See, that's great when you can do that because you know what? I was looking for fourth all year, and I had frickin' Feeney, Grant. I said, Grant, why don't you take another pitch? And
Feeney is a forever narwhal. He's not giving that shirt back.
All I told.
I tell Grant, oh, yeah, just take a single here, bud. No, I'm swinging.
Yep. Every time we told Kubaki if he got to 10, we said take the single. I told him before, I'm like, look, man, I know you can throw strikes, so just throw them over the plate. This isn't a hitting patient. It's just like people try to be patient, but if you can get ahead 0-2,
they have to swing.
Everyone's screwed pretty much unless you're like a good hitter. So he was very coachable, and same with Tyler. Tyler, he's been messaging us all week, excited to play, just shocked us. So I don't know. I mean, you guys are a good team, but I think we got a sweep here. Jackson's gonna bounce back. Jackson's birthday is tomorrow, also.
Uh-oh.
And this is a revenge game.
Will Taryn be there?
Revenge? Why?
It's a revenge game. Jackson versus the Narwhals.
Why is that revenge? I gave him nothing but love on Twitter.
Are we talking about dissatisfaction rumors? Uh-oh.
Easy.
Uh-oh. Maybe his time with the Narwhals wasn't all sunshine and roses.
Just rumors. I don't know. I do
stir some shit
on the mill
after I say all these good things about him. And the Badgers say, "Oh, really? Is he a great?" And I rattle off all of his stats without even having to look them up. I knew all those stats. I know you're not going to believe me because there's no way to prove it.
Do you have a Jackson poster hanging up in your room?
I do.
Too?
Maybe it's like a Joel Embiid in the 76ers. A great guy, great player, but just can't get over the hump.
Jackson.
I don't know.
Maybe he was fed up with ownership for not getting him some help.
Maybe Jackson's mad that you didn't make the move to get me on the Narwhals last year.
Tried vigorously. That's why I said the same thing on Twitter when I said, "Oh, honorable Narwhal."
There might be some dissatisfaction with Narwhal ownership. Just throwing it out there.
Shout out Narwhal Nation. Croc sweep. I don't know if you guys noticed on Twitter also that our image on the Crocs is misspelled. We are the Clay Street Crows.
Taryn noticed.
No!
So
the Crows? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It should be fun, though. I'm looking forward to it.
Good matchup.
I always enjoy spending time hanging out with Greg. I just hope Greg doesn't get very angry tomorrow if my prediction comes true.
No. I know it was gonna be tough, and it's a tough matchup. That's all. I just
don't accept him. Don't accept him throwing you in the dirt.
No, I have faith in my guys, so that's why I say we at least split. I don't have any doubt that we're gonna split.
I need.
You're such a pacifist. And
I need Vince Carullo to prove his $50 worth.
Okay.
To me, and he can do that tomorrow. He can shut me up.
I hope so.
Like Dave Buzik wants to also.
All right, so can you head to the standings for me, and I'll rattle off what we would have here.
Okay, so standings currently?
Yes.
So we would have, it's loading. The Barnstormers and the Bombers are on byes this week.
Correct.
So Crocs, Liners, Turtles, and Vultures are all 2-0.
Okay, so the Liners would move to 4-0. The Vultures would move to 3-1. The Crocs would move to 3-1. And who else? The Turtles. The Turtles would move to 4-0.
So they'd be tied up there.
Correct.
The Sliders and everyone else is 0-2,
Right.
except for Badgers and Sluggers.
So the Sliders would move to 0-4. The Maniacs would move to 0-4. The Bashers would move to 0-4. The Badgers would be 1-1. And the Narwhals would be 1-3.
And Squints would be 2-0, right?
Correct.
So
some interesting if that like happens.
Right.
Some interesting things.
There would be-
Maniacs.
well, I mean, there would be
Maniacs and Sliders
Two
at
teams.
0-4. They were pretty high on everyone's predictions.
Prediction list. That's usually how it goes. I mean, it's all about
scrapping turtles.
Don't. I don't even don't get started on that one. No. Yeah, there would be some interesting developments. Again, it's all about can you pitch, can you field, and can you put the ball in play when you're supposed to. And I mean, you have an idea of what people are going to do, but even you throw it back to 2-3 years ago when Andrew Sitter was predicted to be the MVP, and he comes back and plays at a $25 level. I mean, we're never going to see him again, but I mean, that's the reality of the situation. But let's go to the question bag.
Question.
I've been excited about this all day.
It's been great. Oh, man. So, the Twitter, @GoingCornLWA. I asked, we are recording tomorrow. Any questions? So, here was what we got. First was, oh, wait, that was Al's jump to, or did he delete that one? Oh, no, there it was. Biggest week 1 hitting and pitching surprise.
Grant Reinhardt at 909.
I don't know. Do you have anything different, Voges? I say that.
Biggest pitching surprise, John Innenberg, 52 ERA.
I think I'm going to agree with you. I don't really see anything standing out.
Quinn Clawcassie potentially with 2 wins on the mound.
Yeah.
The only 2-0 pitcher.
That's another one.
Right.
So, and let's go back to the top. So, Al Friedman, how do 2 guys with the worst ERA end up being 2 of the 3, along with CJ, that didn't strike out at the plate?
Wind.
What was it again?
Yes, that's what. How do the 2 guys with the worst ERA
Because pitching and batting don't correlate.
end up being 2 of the 3, along with CJ, that didn't strike out at the plate? That's more what I was getting at.
Yeah,
And
the two
Caleb
don't-
just answered it like it was a normal question.
the two don't have anything to do with one another, but I guess to like play into it, yeah, it was all wind.
That's
Wait,
verbatim
how do
what
the
it
2
says.
guys with the worst ERA end up being the 2.
Love you, man. But
I
come
wonder,
on, think
is-
before you write.
Where's that?
Is he
stat even
is he
at?
comment fishing right now? That may
It's
be a strong
ongoing
reality.
corn. It's like the most recent one at about noon yesterday.
What an awful shot by Draymond right there.
So Annenberg and Friedman is what he's going to.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So
Uh,
yeah, the wind.
yeah.
That's the only explanation for that.
That's it.
Kyle Gagliardi, the president of OTSN,
Shout out
asks,
Barnstormers. # that's BS.
Shout out Rippers.
he goes in it here and he says, "The Barnstormers swept without hitting a home run. Does that impress you guys?"
No.
No, but I mean they developed enough runs, so that's good.
See, it's different. Like if
Impresses
it's
me that
slow
they won
pitch or if it's
2-0.
griffle ball, it's walks. I mean,
Who did they face again?
The Bombers, Schaff, Brett Detmar.
Brett's team. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I was impressed with them is one, they didn't have Tuck. They didn't have their manager. Had probably the
They
most
had-
experience out of
yeah.
any of them.
Edge,
They had Edge, who
Feldy.
never played in Leroy. Feldy. My thoughts on Feldy. If you don't, just go listen to any of my Griffle Talk podcasts that I'm a part of, or just any history I've ever had with him.
And then Gagliardi and who did they bring in? I don't know, somebody.
Yeah, don't know, but yeah, I guess that's more what I'm impressed with is the fact that a relatively inexperienced team was able to shut down
Warner. Warner hit 615.
Oh, Warner.
Yeah, they were able to take down Brett. That's what I'm most impressed with. Gags, I think he can be a really good player. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Also, for some reason, everyone does since I was number 1. And Gags went 2. And Tuck actually
Again,
won.
people don't understand the concept of a salary cap, but okay.
Or
If Caleb would have been number 1 pick overall, his pick probably would have been Tim Wilcher.
Right.
So is Tim Wilcher the number 1 pick overall?
Yeah, so I mean, it has to do with salary cap, and it has to do with also like 2 of my best friends being the number 1 and 2 picks. But either way,
you also fed into the hype.
I did.
Yep.
Always going to.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. So this one is from Jared Youngman.
Oh dear, one of the 80.
Will Ryan Voges be a Badger by the end of the year?
No,
No.
because you would have to drop Marty. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Jared?
Unless you decide to play like butt.
Only at $27 right now.
Right, but he still can't sign you with Marty. Unless he wants to play Micah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think anybody
We
wants to
already
play
talked
Micah.
about that, yeah.
I don't know. I look good in green.
Here's a real question. Is Michelle Beadle attractive?
Anyway, moving on.
It's an honest question.
Yes, she is. Moving on.
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Continue.
Love you,
Will
Jared.
Jackson go off on his former
Badger
team
Nation.
on his birthday Wednesday?
Who said that? Can you give a shout out?
No.
Yes. This is like Braun leaving the Cavs for the Heat because of poor ownership. Absolutely.
Jackson is going to go bananas tomorrow. I think Jackson's going to have...
Bananas. Bananas. Bananas.
No?
No.
You or me?
No, sorry. Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
So, yeah, Jackson, yeah. We got to answer all the questions, Greg. Sorry.
Talking about technical things. Sorry.
Jackson's motivated. It's his
Wasn't talking
birthday.
about the question anymore.
It's going to be 28.
Revenge.
Shout out. Revenge game.
Cool.
Some
Avengers
people are
Endgame.
saying. Ooh, great movie.
Great movie.
Saw it
I
twice.
just saw it.
Why does Grant? How does Grant have a
captain picks
900
up the
batting
hammer.
average?
Fuck.
Wind. Are the Scrappin' Turtles team to beat this year after a dominant Week 1 sweep? Wasn't dominant. It was 3-run total.
Who asked that question?
Who do you think?
Is it Tim?
Who do you think? No, absolutely not. Who do you think? The other troll of the league.
Matt.
No,
Sheriff?
your brother.
Oh, Sheriff asked that.
Oh,
We'll be asking that after he gets
He is
swept
the
this
most
week.
active on Going Corn. To ask about.
All you ever need to do to get him to shut up is ask him how his follower to following ratio is going. If you haven't, go take a look. It's about 400 to 3 million.
On his personal account?
No, on the
his
Badger.
Badgers.
He's following like 3,000 people, and he has 400 followers. It's the most. Some of the pages he follows, I don't even think are real Twitter bots.
But I'm the most followed Leroy account.
Oh, nice.
It's 400 to 200. Don't give my man a break.
It used to be a good 4,000, and
It
that's
was.
confirmed.
Because he was buying bot accounts to follow or something.
I'm not even following the Badgers. Now he's at
Now
he's at
but you're
201.
part of Badger Nation. Huh?
But I always respond to every. So
What
that
a-
means I seek it out.
Is Ryan a bandwagon Badger?
Out of the 3 people in here, who's played with the Badgers before?
I will never associate myself with such a dishonorable franchise.
Update on the poll,
Did
by the
you
way.
really?
It's still 100% after 8 votes.
How many votes?
8 votes.
I
I voted yes for the record.
Thank you. Love you, Dave.
From that and my liners account.
Don't kill me.
Continue.
That was it. That was all the questions.
There had to have been more questions.
Nope. We didn't ask the chats today,
Oh, that's unfortunate.
but Going Corn had a lot of those questions. It's still
I've got
good
one
amount.
question I want to ask.
All right, and then we need to be wrapping it up.
What owner will give other owners the most money to work with from a salary perspective this year?
Either the Bombers or the Bashers.
Name the owner. Brett or Grant?
That's what I'm saying.
I think it'll be Quinn.
No.
Absolutely.
Well, let's see. The Bashers already gave us money.
Yep.
And so did the Bombers. Unfortunately, so did the Crocs.
Yeah.
They had to
Yep.
take a salary hit, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Shit
I
happens.
think it's those two. I don't think Jackson and Voges are not going to get duped again. So
Absolutely not. I have a very deep list of players that I can dip into.
True
for,
story.
Kermit players. I literally have a list of like 4 people that are ready to play for the Crocs.
Oh well. Bobo?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I don't like Bobo.
You know a couple of them potentially.
Oh, what's his name? The dude that was at our bar with us.
Oh, Mez? No.
Oh no! He said he's a wiffle god.
He's a nasty boy and will remain just a nasty boy.
Sad.
Yeah, just got a few people lined up. Yeah, we won't let that happen again. Hopefully. What was the question? Manager?
That gives everyone the most money.
I don't think it'll be Quinn because Chris Deal is a very reliable person.
Is he?
Yes, he played 20 games in GBL 2 straight years.
For a terrible team, no one.
He literally was the only player on his teams and still showed up all 20 games both years.
Wow.
He's very reliable, and him and Quinn have a history. So for that, I mean, he's got his 4 or whatever he's going to play Chris at. He'll be there whenever he needs him.
Never mind.
I'll go Brett.
Uh-oh.
I don't really know why. I know I saw him today at the gym. He was looking good, but he's got a new job in Chicago, correct?
Yeah, that's mainly
I feel like that may play a factor into his availability for the year.
I think he'd be struggling to find people if it wasn't for him having a bye.
Yep.
So that's my answer.
All right.
No other reason.
All right, and that's probably a good place to end it too. We should be wrapping this up.
Do we want
30-minute more?
Do we want to plug your giant tournament that you're having this week?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to.
Do you want to talk about it at all?
Leroy people need to sign up. That's all there's just to say.
We've done a lot. It's at that point where you're either going to sign up and show up or not. We need a few more. We need a couple more Leroy guys, and we'd love to get a couple one more pair at least. But it's looking like it's still going to be this Saturday, so we're still going to do it. Probably going to be teams at 3. So
will there be more GBL guys than Leroy guys?
Yes.
Isn't that a confirmed thing?
Correct.
Edge, Gags, Bartley,
Caleb,
T-Walk.
I'm a GBL guy now.
Potential. 2 games.
He had a national team appearance. National Fielder of the Year, by the way.
Facts.
Midwest Player of the Year.
Yes.
Anyway.
Central.
Yeah, it's things to strive for. Maybe next year you'll be.
Maybe people will stop disrespecting me. Who knows? Probably.
Yikes. All right, so we're going to end it there.
Do we have any predictions for that?
Thanks to our special guest.
I like 2-hour podcasts.
Ryan Voges.
Probably won't be invited back.
Co-host Caleb Duncan.
You'll be invited
always
back.
welcome.
You'll be a co-host before I'm a co-host next. That's a
I don't know. I kind of went at Greg's team.
That's a take.
Anyway, for Ryan and Caleb, this has been Going Corn.
See ya.